Welcome to another Good e-reader comparison video. My name is Michael.
This is Peter.
And today we're going to compare the Amazon Kindle Fire versus the Kyobo Mirasol e-reader. These are both Android tablets. As you can see, they're a little bit different in terms of the size of the screen. This is 5.7 inches. The Kindle Fire is 7 inches. They're both running the same version of Android 2.3, and the processor is a little bit different. The Kindle Fire is dual core, and the Mirasol is a 1 gigahertz single core. The resolution actually on the Kyobo is a little bit better. It's 1024 by 768, while the Kindle Fire is 1024 by 600. So the big difference is this is only 1 gig of internal storage, this is 8, but this has no expandable memory via micro SD, whereas this does. So you can prospectively get way more storage capacity out of the Mirasol version than you could with the Fire. On an aesthetics level, they both have Wi-Fi. They both look a little bit different. You can see the Kyobo has a little bit of an accented chrome finish here, while the Kindle Fire is just completely black. Peter, why don't you walk us through the hardware differentiations?
Alright, well let's just start with the Kindle Fire here. On the bottom you have micro USB cable, you have 3.5mm headphone jack, and you have a power button. On the Kyobo, these are not speakers by the way, we'll get to that later, these are just design features. You have a 3.5mm headphone jack, microphone, expandable micro SD card up to 32 gigs, and a micro USB cable slot. Moving over to the right, you have clean left, you have clean left sides, nothing on those. Moving over to the right, once again, oh, drop that. Clean right sides on the Kindle, and you have volume up and down on the Kyobo. Moving over to the top, you have, this is what I really like about the Kindle Fire actually, fully exposed, nothing in the way, stereo speakers, so they can just project outwards while you're viewing your video or listening to music. And on the Kyobo you have hard reset button and a power button. And on the back is where the Kyobo really gets its audio down. You have stereo speakers on the back, and it's on the curved thumbnail portion, so they will not lay flush on the back and get muffled when you put the device down. This will also have a very good audio experience with it. And the back, it looks like metal, but it isn't. It is plastic, which is still nice. You have a landscape picture of the Kyobo logo. And on the Kindle, I actually really like the back in the Kindle. You have an engraved Kindle logo here, marking, and the whole back is this kind of tough rubber, and it's really nice to hold. It's kind of grippy, so it won't slip out of your hand. So both of them are really nice. I would say that the Kyobo is more interesting looking, only because, well, it doesn't just look like a black rectangle like the Amazon Kindle does. When you look at it, it's just, there's a black border, black screen, black sides. Whereas you look at this, it's got nice buttons on the bezel here, it's got a screen, little logo there, and it's got a metallic looking border. So it's a little bit better looking, I would say, in my...
Amazon Kindle Fire looks like a lot of tablets out there, from
Yes.
the Pan Digital Novel to the Kobo Vox. I mean, black on black, everything starts to look the same, but you have to really kind of look at the speaker placement as the #1 advantage. On a visual level, you know, they're tablets. You know, I can't really say I dig one over the other. I would say probably the Kyobo is a little bit more portable because of its small size. But you know, you have a smaller device, you have a smaller screen versus that, so it's a bit of a trade-off. But you know, everybody wants to know how these two go head to head. So we're going to put these through a series of tests, everything from the internet experience to the e-reading experience, video, audio, and a whole lot more. So we're going to jump right into things here with the internet experience and show you how everything looks. Despite the fact that this is a South Korean model, we have loaded in a number of apps via side loading, and it's pretty easy to do so. Incidentally, you can sideload apps onto Kindle Fire. All you have to do is visit our new app store at goodereader.com/apps, and we're going to film a tutorial exactly on how to download apps using a Kindle Fire, but it's fairly simple. So we're going to load up the web browser here.
catch up to you there. All right.
Okay, so this is the same website loaded on each tablet. Depending on your internet speed, pages may load slower or faster. So this is the same thing head to head. So you can see for yourself that the Amazon both of these incidentally have the brightness settings cranked to the max. Now this is where you could really see the differences between a Mirasol e-reader and a Kindle Fire. You may say to yourself, well, this isn't very bright or anything like that. On camera, it doesn't look as bright, but when you're looking at it, it looks brighter than it is. But you could almost see with the muted background that it is actually a little bit easier on the eyes. When you have a pure white background, you can only look at this for so long before your eyes start burning out. Whereas this, because everything is muted and not so vibrant, that's, a trade-off. It's not as vibrant, but you can actually look at this a lot longer than you could on this because it's, everything's not as bright. How do things look with pinching and zooming? Well, let's find out.
Very smooth on the Amazon Kindle.
Yeah, it's not as smooth, but that's not to say that it's not clipping or stuttering. But this is where the Kindle's dual core processor comes into play versus a single core processor. Incidentally, they both have the same amount of RAM as well. For embedded videos, you would actually have to install Flash 11 on the Kyobo in order to play embedded YouTube videos, whereas the Kindle Fire could do this natively. So, of course, both of them sort of load their own independent browser. We tried sort of clicking on a video before, and nothing really happened. So, I would say probably the Kindle Fire sort of wins with the internet experience right out of the box because it actually plays embedded YouTube videos without any, separate plugins or having to install Flash or anything like that. Everything just kind of works. Now, let's check out the e-reading experience. We're both going to use the same book, and I have the Kindle app loaded here. And so Peter's going to walk you through exactly what the ebook experience is like.
Alright, so I'm just going to manually load up the same book, which is Christian Hanna, Night Road. So here you are. You can see that what Michael was referring to earlier, the background on the Kyobo is a lot, it's a lot lighter in almost every sense. The blackers are more black here, the whiter is more white. The blacks on this is kind of gray, and the background, even with your eyes, it's kind of pinkish blue. That's just because of what screen it's using. It's not using a standard LCD screen, it is using a Mirasol. So it's just a little bit different. You can see on the left here on the Kindle Fire, we have, I guess it's like a peak. It's not quite like the iPad's page turn peak, but you can see that the page turns are very quick, as well as on the Mirasol. They're just as quick. Although on the Mirasol you do get a nice little page turn animation when you do turn the page, but depending on what book reading application you're using, you can turn it on or off. I would say that Michael was correct about the screen here. This would be something you could read for a very long time, whereas on the Kindle Fire, you could read it for a while, and then the whites would be too white on your eyes, and the blacks would be too harsh, so it would strain your eyes after a certain amount of time. I would agree.
Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, how do notes, highlights, dictionary lookups, and things like that work? It's really all dependent on Android as a platform and what app that you install. Both of these devices are able to have Nook for Android, Sony for Android, Kindle, Kobo, really any Android, even the indie ones such as Aldeco, if you want to read comics, Droid Comic Viewer. It's a little bit difficult to install those sort of apps on both these devices because, well, for one, the Mirasol Kyobo does not have any type of market that it comes pre-installed with, and with the Amazon market, you only really have what they give you. So a lot of their competitors' apps aren't easy to be found, where that's where the Good e-Reader App Store comes into play. We don't have any bias, so no matter what e-reading app you're looking for, we have about I don't know, about 60 total. So pretty well everyone under the sun is there, so you can install them right to your device. Of course, with the Kindle app, you can store any of your highlights or notes in a cloud and then sync them to any of your other devices. So it's really dependent on what app you have on there that will dictate the functionality, and that just goes with the territory of Android. And the same thing comes into play with a music player, video player. You have the stock apps that come with it, which the Mirasol, the audio player, is hurting to say the least. It doesn't have any extended features or anything like that. We're going to show you sort of what the audio players look like head to head here. So
I would say the stock experience on the Kindle Fire for Android, the Kindle Fire for the music, I would say, is a lot better than the music on the Kyobo, and we'll show you that right now. You can see that when you click OK on the Kyobo, all that happens really is this bar comes up that plays the music, which is okay. I mean, you get the music. It's not like it says, "Oh, you don't have a music player, download one now." I mean, anything you throw this guy's way will play: video, music, PDFs, books. It will find a way to let you view it. On the Kindle Fire, however, you do get full music experience here. You would get a thumbnail of the album cover had I put one on, but for testing purposes, we just put a song on here. You see that it does play. You have all the usability to go back in track, shuffle, change your list. There's a lot more you can do with the stock experience on the Kindle Fire with the music, but needless to say, they both play what you put on there.
So for audio, I would say obviously the Kindle Fire.
I would say the Kindle Fire. The speakers are out in the open. They're right on the top. They're not muffled by anything. Although the ones on the Mirasol aren't completely flush, getting muffled by where you put it, it is still. It would have been better had they put them on the screen somewhere or on the top like the Kindle Fire.
Yeah, but I mean, even if you were to have these speakers facing us like we tested before, and having these speakers there, I'd say the Kindle Fire just a better audio experience overall with the default player, but just the sound has more kick. You know, the basses are lower and the treble is higher. You just get a better audio experience. Now, so we've seen ebooks, we've checked out audio. Well, what about the video experience? You know, how does Mirasol perform video-wise against, say, the Kindle Fire, which has, you know, Gorilla Glass, but in essence, it's kind of like a tablet. So we're both going to load up different videos here, mainly because it's really hard to side-load content into the Kindle Fire.
So we're going to watch a trailer of this particular movie on Amazon Kindle Prime, and we're going to click some stock footage of a mountain range on the Mirasol Kyobo. So you can see, depending on how and what you're playing, it's going to be hard to say which one's better. So for example, we're playing a trailer that has been properly formatted for the Kindle Fire on the left, and on the right we are playing a side-loaded generic public domain video on the right, so it's not going to be formatted quite as well as the one for the Kindle.
Right. So all things aside, what do you think of the visual quality on both of them?
Honestly, like, the screen that the Kyobo is using is very good for reading, but when it comes to video, you're not going to get as vibrant as colors as you would on a standard LCD screen like the Kindle Fire. I would have to give it to the Kindle Fire. It's just a little bit more fluid. It's a lot vibrant. The colors are more rich. I mean, I would have to give it Kindle Fire.
Yeah, I mean, if you've watched all the tests that we've done so far, if anything's clear, that the Kindle Fire is more of a multimedia device, that reading is not maybe as important as like listening to audio, watching videos, and having access to a ton of content. Whereas the Kyobo, the big emphasis is on reading, and I would say that it does probably a better job reading just because of environmental conditions. Being Mirasol e-paper, it's pretty well designed to be able to be read under direct light from the sun, to be able to have studio light directly on it and it not having any glare. So let's kind of show you how that looks.
You see on the Mirasol that you can read through our studio lighting. You see I'm shining it over Kyobo, and you can still read it on the Kindle. It kind of speaks for itself. You can see very clearly everything here. So let's put some light on the situation. Virtually gone. Whereas we do the exact same thing on the Kyobo. You can still see through it. This is the same light. It's the exact same light. Studio lighting. Left light, right light. We have both of our lights on it. Comes on Kindle Fire. Boom. And boom, wipes the screen away.
So that really speaks for itself, and that's really a testament of Mirasol's e-paper technology that really they've spent 2 years developing, and this is really the first product showcased in it. So this has been a good e-reader comparison video of the Kyobo Mirasol e-reader versus the Amazon Kindle Fire. If you want to see our full review on either of these, check out our YouTube at youtube.com/user/goodereader, and all the latest news on goodereader.com/blog, and check out our new app store if you have any type of Android driven tablet/e-reader, goodereader.com/apps. And for Good E-Reader, my name is Michael.
This is Peter.
And everybody take care.